We knew we were playing against a very strong veteran-led group. And I thought in a game like this, when you look at the stat sheet, the veteran players are the ones that really carried the load. They're young guys. Didn't get much done, and we got a lot of young guys, and they didn't get a lot done. But we got a lot of enthusiasm. You know, when you're coaching a young team, if you've got enthusiasm, if you've got a work ethic, they want to get better. I think there's a lot of room for improvement there. I think we will. I think our struggle right now is learning who we are versus who we want to be. We're not a team that's going to be real successful thinking that we're going to shoot a lot of jump shots. We've got to get into the lane. We're not real successful when we're not in the bonus early enough. We're not successful when we're not dominating the free throw line, and frankly the rebounding. And a team like this, they were averaging 21 free throw attempts. They were making 16. They're 11th in the country in free throw percentage. Now some of the free throws were at the end, but we can't. We've got to be much better at keeping the ball moving, reversing it, driving it. But with all that said, we made a bunch of runs. We could just never get all the way over the hump, whether it was a missed shot, whether it was a missed play defensively. Couple, not as many of those, especially in the second half. We were much better. But any team that's going to be successful forms an identity. It's formed over a period of time. And what I'm learning with a very young team is every time you think you're taking a step towards that identity, it's very easy to take a step or two back. And our identity has got to be in the fact that going into the game, we were 5th in the country in field goal percentage defense. And we were number 1 in the country in rebound margin. And we were way up in the country in getting to the free throw line. None of those things worked out to our advantage today. Give them credit. They've got a bunch of veterans. We knew we were going to get their best game, especially after the way they played on Wednesday night. Mike is a tremendous coach, one of the best coaches in the country and has been for a long time. And they've got a lot of veterans that made veteran plays. And like I said, our veteran and Will and even Evan did a really good job. But other than that, there's a lot of room for improvement for us, and we'll get back at it this week as we go through exams and get ready for next weekend.
What was the primary roadblock? You talked about making runs, but never
roadblock?
Just not being able to punch through.
Oh, I think it was different things. I think it was a key turnover. We make tough turnovers. We have to. The game is never won or lost at the very end, and we shot too many jumpers to begin the game. And but some of that's we're not demanding the ball inside the way we need to. We're not demanding it verbally. We're not demanding it physically the way that we need to. And we just have to be better. But we learned some things today with Stan, and I thought Luke continued to play really hard even though he struggled with the finishing. We played guys a lot of minutes because we had some guys that it was just a little bit too bright in there today. You know, for our young team to really step up to the task that we had with a bunch of veterans that had played in countless games like that. So the roadblocks become a tough basket that you give up, a poor rotation, a key turnover at a bad time, you know, things like that.
It seemed like you guys had some struggles in transition defense. I guess just what stood out to you there?
You know, I think with a team that runs like that, I got to go back and watch the film. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I think anytime you're putting that many shooters on the court, and one thing we told our guys, Connaughton is 55% in neutral site games from 3. Today he went 3 of 4. They got a lot of guys you got to get identified quickly. It's not like it's 1 or 2 guys. You got to identify them. So I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and watch the film on the transition as much. But I thought there were other things that we didn't do as well. And again, we lost the game on offense as much as we lost it on defense. We didn't get the ball. They did a good job of packing the lane. Well, what you have to do, you have to reverse the ball even more. I mean, they read our percentages too. Okay, and like I told our guys, we made 1 more 3 than Notre Dame did and lost the game. That's not a good trade-off. So.
What are some of the things that you need to see in the next couple of weeks between now and the Big Ten season to make you feel good?
Oh, I think with a young team like this, it's going to be a daily process of them really improving. Like we said to them, I mean, we believe we have a great program for improvement, for skill development, for all that improvement. But the mental part of it, we're just going to have to grow through that. There's not a lot of drills that you can have to give a guy the experience and understanding that they have to have of how important every possession are in these type of games. And at the same time that you can't, you've got to stay, we want to shoot the ball, but we want to shoot the ball after it's been, from three and from range, after it's been reversed, after it's been through the paint, if it's gone inside out. We did that last year. We just had better three-point shooters. So right now, we'll get better shooting the ball, but we have to keep understanding how we win. And our national statistics show that we have the ability to do that. We just don't understand that that's what makes us go. So I think we've got to get better at our strengths. In answer to your question, Bob, we've got to become an even better rebounding team, a better driving team, certainly a better decision-making team and ball handling team. And we've got to continue to show up our defense. Like I said, we walked into today, and that's with, obviously some games that are not high profile, but that's also with some high profile games. That's with a Syracuse game and a Connecticut game and a Washington game in there where we were 5th in the nation in field goal D. We have to continue to build on that to get ready for the Big Ten.
Was it, I guess, settling for jumpers just a big part of maybe not shooting as many free throws as you wanted?
I don't know if it's that or not playing through the post. There's nothing wrong with shooting jump shots as long as you're playing through the post and as long as you're, whether you're playing through the post or playing through the lane on your drives. So I think it's a little bit of that. But we had some we executed some times tonight very good out of timeouts. We made adjustments during the game. They did a very good job of adjusting how they were playing Yogi in the zone. And so all of a sudden, it was wide open when we got the ball in the middle of the zone. We just didn't always make the shots. Will got a ton of action in the middle today and really did a good job with it. And we had a lot of freedom in the lane. Well, they took away some of our stuff up top, which means, we just got to keep reversing through the corners, get it swung, get it in the paint, all the things that we really work at being good at. And then if the jumpers come out of that flow, fine. But it's got to touch the paint.
I guess were you particularly bothered by not having a lot of ball reverse, especially late in the game, when you guys had kind of cut it to a one-possession game?
Though I think we had some costly turnovers late, right? We had a couple of turnovers. We didn't get to play. I would have liked to have done more substituting for fatigue today rather than substituting and keeping guys in because some guys, it was just the lights were too bright. But it's to be expected, I guess, with a young team. I'm not condoning it. I'm certainly not rationalizing for it. And but we still made some big plays. We have to get to the foul line. That's a big thing. And so when you're fighting an uphill battle to get into the bonus through the game, it's never going to be as easy. You can't set your defense. You make it harder. And all of a sudden, we never brought. We brought fatigue to the game for a while, but they overcame it because they made some shots, and we didn't make enough to ever really get over the hump. We good? Any more? All right, thank you.